Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, welcome back to an empty drive. It's not the usual reason for an empty drive. Project Bluey has gone off for its MOT today, and so we are going to be taking advantage of the empty drive to get the Abarth ready to sell. Let's get into it straight away. Right, you haven't seen the Abarth for a while, so I've had this almost a year now. I bought it last March 2020. There's a few things that I need to do on it to get it ready to sell. It's about time it was sold now. I'm not really making use of it as I should, so it just seems like it's a sensible thing to do. So the things I've got to do, if you remember this wing, it doesn't look that bad, but it is dented in there and it stands proud of the door, and I'm hoping that's not the door. I should be able to get away without replacing the door, I'm hoping. So I need to get that replaced. I've got one, so it's a matter of getting it up in the air, taking the wheel off, taking the arch liner out, getting the wing off, cutting obviously the sealant, getting the wing off and putting a new one on. That hopefully will solve this job, this problem here. I did get my slide hammer in and pull this out, so I'm hoping by doing that, this is what's made it go proud. I can't remember if it was proud before or not. The door was adjusted. There is a couple of little marks on the door, but I am going to leave them. I have got a door in there, but if I can, I'm just going to leave the door. The car is filthy at the moment. I haven't cleaned it for ages. Apart from that, there's not an awful lot to do. One of the other things I've got to do is the back bumper. If you can see, this was the new back bumper, the gap there. Look, it goes right close up there, and then we've got a gap. The bracket in the middle, when I put this on, I didn't get it into the bracket properly. It was too high, and it's been like it ever since. And I never did do those up because I'd always intended to come back and do it, and I've never ever got round to it. So it's the same both sides. So I've got to loosen the bumper off and refit the bumper. Also, while I always take the wheels off, jack it up and take the wheels off when I take bumpers off. It just makes life a lot easier. But this wheel's got to come off anyway, because the back brakes are squeaking. It's coming from this side, and it's a well-known, not fault, what I suppose you could call it a fault, but it's a well-known issue with the Abarth with discs on the back, that the carriers get gunged and they don't release the brake pad properly, and therefore that it squeaks. So a clean up and some copper grease. I'll probably do both sides. As far as I know, it's only this side that's doing it, but it is absolutely freezing out here today. Absolutely freezing. It's about -2 and it's windy. So I don't want to be out here any longer than necessary, really. I was going to clean it as well. As you can see, it's still covered in snow, so I probably won't clean it. I'll probably wait until it warms up a little bit. Obviously I want to then take photographs and get it up for sale, but of course I'll do that when it's new. Inside, there's nothing that needs doing inside, nothing at all apart from a clean. One other thing I've got to do is when it was, if you watch the rest of the series of this car, you would have seen that when the day I got it, or the day after I got it, I put it in the garage and I caused a crease in this door. When they did the bodywork damage on this, they repaired that as well, and they dripped a little bit of primer on there, and again I've never got that off. so I've got to get that off. And I say the car needs a really good clean up, but if I can get the wing and the brakes done today, I will be happy. Obviously that's not much to do. So yeah, wing, bumper and brakes, if I can get those done today, I'll be a happy bunny. But whether I can stand out here for long enough in this cold is beyond me. I will wear some gloves as much as I can to try and keep my hands warm a little bit, but it is absolutely bitter cold, so don't let the sun fool you. So I need to change my glasses, because the glasses I've got on go dark and it doesn't really help when I'm trying to get my head under wheel arches and stuff. So I'm going to get it up in the air, get the front wheel off, and then get on with this wing. At some point during the time lapse on there, the camera on the tripod fell over, and I didn't notice. And I don't know how long it was, so I had a bit of a nightmare getting the bumper off. These have got the Abarths have got different bumper brackets on, which I didn't know. Maybe it was on the facelift that they did that. So in which case I should take this bracket off and put it on the new wing. I guess they're an improvement. So all of this is all off now. On this occasion I've taken the headlight out because I was having a really difficult job getting to that screw down there. So just a 10mm bolt, with the extra stuff that's around on an Abarth, or even on all of the 1.4s. You've got the header tank there. It's in the way, and I couldn't get anything, a socket, a spanner or anything on the bottom of that bolt. On the 1.2 it's easy, it comes off. You know, you can get a spanner in there straight away, but I just could not get it off. I was starting to get annoyed, so I thought, right, take the bumper off a little bit more and take the headlight out. It just gets it out of the way. So I've just got to undo that. I've made a cut on the sealant, so I'll get that screw undone, and then hopefully I can just bend it back and it will pull away. I'll stick you up on the tripod again while we do that. I'll just get the bolt undone first. Go. So that came off relatively easily. Obviously when you do that you have to be careful that you don't damage the door, the edge of the door. It is a bit of a yanking, unfortunately, but what I'm going to do now is just going to get all this off with a knife, and then we'll offer up the new one and see what it looks like. So new wing's on, so at least it's dent free. You can see I'm just giving it a bit of a clean, but we've still got that slight gap, where it's not flush, so it must be the door, because the wing's gone back exactly the same as the other wing did. It's not too noticeable unless you get right behind here and look that way, then you can see it, but I can't leave it like that. So I think what I'm going to have to do, I tried adjusting the door before and it didn't work, and I just messed up the closing of the door and the gap down there as well. So I think what I'm going to have to try and do is take that door off and put the door, I've got the door in here that was off of Project Cooey, which has even got the matte thing. So this is a door off of a pre-facelift car. Obviously the car is a facelift car. However, we discovered when we first got this car that the door that's on it is not a door off of a facelift car. So at some point that door has been changed anyway. So we don't know whether that gap whatever the issue is with that gap, we don't know whether that was like that before, I say the accident, it was just stolen recovered. There was no damage apart from a little bit of creasing. It is better than it was, and of course there are no dents in that wing now, which is good. But if you sort of come over here, you can see it sticking out. It's more at the bottom than it is at the top. Now I could possibly get away with it, but you know, this is not going to be a cheap car. It's going to be cheaper than the going rate for a car, but it's not going to be a cheap car. So I want to try and get it as good as I can. So I think we're going to have to bite the bullet and change the door, which I didn't really want to do. But if it fixes it, then it's worth doing. If it doesn't, then I've wasted my time. I'm not going to do that today. That'll have to be on another day when it's warmed up a little bit, because this is just too much, this coldness. Right, so now we've got that wing on, even though it's not 100%, probably not even 90%. I'm going to sort this bumper out. I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to do the brakes if I have time. It is just so damn cold out here, I just don't want to be out here, but I just want to get it done. So I'm going to get this bumper, so I've got to take the lights out, the rear lights, to get to the bolts. I'm going to try and get some of the corner bolts, if I've even put them in. Actually, I'm saying that I may not have even put them in, I can't remember. I think I did. And then drop the bumper out, and then literally just push it straight back again, and making sure that middle section, I've done that a couple of times in the past. It's really quite difficult sometimes to get it to slot in properly, and you can't really tell until you shut the boot. So I'm going to have a go at that now, and hopefully get that at least get that done, and then we'll have a go at the brakes if we can. Right, I've done the bumper. It took a bit of doing actually. I put it all back together. You can see where the boot has been closing incorrectly. It's been banging into that, which has taken the paint off, I think. I don't know if it's just dirt. It might come out with cutting compound. But I've test closed it and it's fine now, which is good. And I'm just now starting to jack up the back of the car, and I'm going to do the squeaky brakes. So hopefully that won't take too long. Right, I've just come to do this. I've taken the wheel off, jacked it up, taken the wheel off. I'm just going to take the carriers off, the calipers off. And I had a look in there. Let me see if I can get in there. And the pads I got, I would say, let me see if I can get in there. Not sure if you can see that. There's so little left on them. They've got about a millimetre, if that. The discs are okay. There's a very slight lip on, so I'm not going to change the discs, but yeah, pads are shot. They would fail the MOT. They didn't even come up. When you think, I haven't really used this car much. The only thing I can think of is where they're binding. That's what's worn them down. Because they didn't even come up as a advisory on the last MOT. When they serviced, they did a full service and an MOT. On the service, they said discs and pads to be done, and I said let's wait and see what the MOT brings up. And obviously, a different person MOTs it to services it, and it didn't even come up as an advisory. But now, I reckon it's where they've been binding their shot. So I'll order a new set of pads, and then we'll revisit this next week and do this, which is a nuisance because I wanted to get it done today. But never mind. So I think that's all I can do today. I'm going to go indoors in a minute because I am absolutely frozen. I've been out here all day, or most of the day, a lot of the day, and I am absolutely frozen through to the bones. So I'm going to get this wheel back on, let it down, put it back in its normal parking space, and then I'll go in and order some pads, and then we'll come back next week. Right, that's everything I can do today. Done now, unfortunately. So I'll just put the wheel back on, tighten these up so they're all done up tight. There's one screw in that side that I haven't done up because I can't get to it with the wheel on, but of course when I do the brakes that will have to come off anyway. The wheel will have to come off, that is. I wish I could clean it, but it's still covered in snow on the roof and on the bonnet, and it's just too damn cold. So I really want to clean it. I haven't cleaned it for ages, but we'll have to wait till this snow melts and it warms up a little bit. It's just too much, but it won't be long now, so I'll go and order these. I'm going to do this door though. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to do it tomorrow. So it's a nuisance, but at least the wing's done, and there's a tiny bit of paint down there that needs doing, if you can see, just on there. I don't know if I did that when I took the wing off or whether it was already there or not. I can't remember. I may have done it when the wing came off actually. I suppose I was a little bit brutal, but apart from that, it all fits nice, and it does look better, of course, now without all the dents that were down that edge there. Yeah. Still, it's not been a completely wasted day today. I really didn't want to have to change this door, but I'm just going to have to do it. The other thing that was wrong with this door, of course, was it was all scratched down here, which I was gonna wrap or something. Again, you know, a bit like painting, it's not exactly the ideal weather to be doing wrapping either. So it's got to be done. It's got to be done though. So see what the weather's like tomorrow. If it's a nice sunny blue sky today, although it's freezing cold, it's better than it being a damp horrible day. So I might come out and change this door. It won't actually take that long. Probably only take me half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, because I've got to unthreadle the loom as well, because obviously they're different doors, or rather the loom's different. Obviously, as we said before, this is an old door, but there's not very much wrong with it. So you know, I might even be able to sell it and get some money for it. I may end up getting this on, and it's no good. Now we don't actually know what's wrong with it. Now we've got hinges on here which came off a Kiwi. Sorry, you're upside down then. So it could be these that are bent on there. It could be the hinges that are on the door. On the car. But they did have a little bash of those at the body shop when they initially did the damage on this car. Repaired the damage. But I'm not going to know until I do it. But the more I look at it, the more it's annoying me now. It does stick out like a sore thumb, but not as much as it did. It doesn't help that the fact that bit's clean and the rest of it's dirty. That makes it look worse. But yeah, no, it needs sorting. It's not a lot. I don't want to go adjusting this door and trying to get it out, because that's what I did before, as I said, and I messed up all my lines down there. So I just want to try and put a new door in place for place, exactly where this one is, and see what it looks like. And hopefully it'll work. But we'll see. We'll have a go tomorrow. But we'll come back tomorrow when we do that. And then obviously, as I said, we'll come back next week to do the brake pads. I haven't looked at the front pads, but I'm pretty sure that those brake pads, I might even find that this brake pad's okay. Obviously you do it per axle, but the squeak was coming from the near side, so I reckon that that's worn down because it needs it wasn't freeing properly. But it's a start anyway. We're getting there. So it's the next day now. Still freezing cold. Snow is still on the ground. It's not melting. It's like -2 out there today. It's supposed to warm up coming from tomorrow, and then I think by about Tuesday we're meant to be in double figures. So I was going to do the brakes, I was going to do the door and put it on this video, but because of the delay, because of the weather, it is just too cold out here to be working outdoors. I haven't got the luxury of doing it in the garage. I'm in the garage now. I haven't got the luxury of being able to pull the car into here and get the heater on in here. More's the pity. But because of that, I'm going to end this video here, and then the other stuff that needs to be done, just getting that little bit of paint off, giving it a good old clean inside and out, doing those brakes, back brakes. I've got the pads now, just a matter of doing them. And what else was there? Sorting that door out. I'm going to change the door. Got to be done. So that will come in the next video. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already watched the rest of the Abarth playlist, whatever you like to call it, they are all in a playlist called Project Abarth. If you click on the link, I'm not sure which side it comes up. I think it's probably that side. Click on the link now, and you can go to the playlist, and then you can start playing on the first video. So yeah, if you haven't done that, then I suggest you watch all of them. You'll see where we started with this car. It is a lovely car, but it's got to go. It's got to be sold, so I need to get it fully prepared, ready to put it up for sale. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been educational and informative, and you're sitting at home in a warm, unlike me standing out here in my cold garage. Enjoyed it, I hope. And don't forget, stay well, stay safe, and if you can, stay at home. See you on the next one.